Hey guys, it's Miss Clark. I am going to do some math with you today. This is our math lesson for May 13th, 2020, and it's called Elapsed Time, Days 1, 2, and 3, but we're doing day 1 today. And make sure that you have your math workbook, the really skinny one, and it's pages 335 to 338. So that's where we will be working, and it's also lesson 12.3. Day 1 is about measuring time intervals. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of go through the book together, and then if you have any questions as we go along, save them and you can ask them at our Google Meet. Okay, so we're going to start something new or do something different using the math workbooks. All right, so our I can statement is I can find the elapsed time when I know the start time and the end time. Okay, so we're going to do fluency and number talks. So it's kind of hard to do a number talk without your teacher, but what we can do is you can solve it and then I'll solve it as well, and we can compare answers and I'll tell you how I did it. Okay, so the first one is 18 plus 17 plus 16. Okay, so if you got 51, you are correct. And what I did was I added 18 plus 17, and I got 35, and then I added plus 6, which is 41, and then I added the 10. So 41 plus 10 is 51. Okay, so the next one, this is a division symbol. So we're going to do 18 divided by 9 times 6. Okay, so 18 divided by 9 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Okay, so that was my answer for this one, the second one. Now the third one is 20 divided by 10 times 13. And don't forget, you can pause the video at any time. Okay, so 20 divided by 10 is 2, and then 2 times 13 is 13 plus 13, which is 26. All right, so that's what we got for our number talks. All right, our vocabulary for this unit or for today, elapsed time means the amount of time that passes. Quarter past means 15 minutes past the hour. Half past is 30 minutes past the hour. So like, for example, for quarter past, 4:15 is quarter past 4 because quarter past 4 o'clock. Half past, kind of the same thing, 30 minutes past the hour, 4:30, right? Because it's half past 4. All right, and then quarter till is 45 minutes after the hour or 15 minutes until the next hour. So quarter till is like 4:45 because it's quarter till 5. You can split the clock into 4 parts, and we'll talk about that more as we continue. So let's review. What do we count by when we go around the clock? Okay, if you said by fives, you are correct because on the clock it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and each of those numbers is by fives. But why do we do that? Okay, because in between each of those numbers, you have what are called tick marks that show the individual minutes of the hour. So, what do you remember about telling time? Okay, so you could remember that the hour hand is the long hand, the minute hand, no, I'm sorry. The hour hand is the short hand, the minute hand is the long hand. Okay? All right, spark your learning. So this is on page 335. So, Jan and her science club take a train from town at 12 o'clock p.m. and arrive at a science fair at 12:30 p.m. They look at the projects. Then they take a train back for 30 minutes and arrive in town at 3:30 p.m. How long was Jan's club at the science fair? So in your math workbook on page 335, find the answer using a picture or words. All right, now that you've had a chance to work that out, we're going to look at building understanding, which is page 336. So number 1, Baj's chess game starts at 4:05 p.m. The game ends at 4:38 p.m. How long does the game last? How can you show the start time, the end time, and how many minutes pass? Show your work on the clocks on page 336 in the middle. Okay, so I will show you what I mean. Now, okay, so let's go back to the spark your learning first. So Jan and her science club, let me zoom in. Oops, now I can't see the question. Jan and her science club take a train from town at 12 o'clock p.m. and arrive at a science fair at 12:30. Okay, so now, okay, so they're at 12 o'clock, right? They start at 12, then arrive at the science fair at 12:30. So let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. How many minutes was that? Should be 30 minutes. So they were on the train for 30 minutes. Then it says they look at the projects. Okay. So then it says, then they take a train back for 30 minutes and arrive in town at 3:30. Okay, that's a long time. So what we're going to have to do is let's go to 3:30. Okay, here's 3:30. So it says they take a train back for 30 minutes and arrive in town. So we have to go backwards. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. So they stopped looking at the projects at 3 o'clock. Okay. So they started at 12:30, right? Because that's when they got there. And then they stopped at 3 o'clock. Now, we have a start time and we have an end time. Okay, so let's go back to our start time. Okay, I'm going to swing my clock around. Okay, 1 o'clock, 12:30. All right, let's count by hours. Okay, so 12:30. Actually, you know what? Let's see. From 12:30 to 1:30 is 1 hour. So let's add an hour to that. So we're at 1:30. Are we at 3 o'clock yet? No. We have to keep going. So that's 1 hour. Keep track. 1 hour. Okay. Now we're at 2:30. How many hours is that? 2. Now, are we at 3 o'clock? No. So let's count how many minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now we're at 3 o'clock. Okay, so if you remember, they were there for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, does that make sense? So this S stands for start time, and this E stands for end time. We were trying to find what happened in between. Okay, so we did 2 hours and 30 minutes. We used our clock to help us. Okay, so it was easier for me to use a clock that I already had. I don't know if you guys have any clocks at home, that you could practice on. You could probably find one. I don't know if you can use the ones at the store. Like if you got one at Dollar General or something, you could take the batteries out and use that. I wouldn't try it because I don't want to break it. But anyway, we'll just do it together. So this was the Spark Your Learning. Okay, so let's zoom in. All right, so this is what it looks like. So it took them 2 hours and 30 minutes. All right, now let's move on to the next one. This one should be a little bit easier. I don't know why they gave us such a long one for the first Spark Your Learning. I guess they want you to struggle a little bit, to think outside the box. So it says, Baj's chess game starts at 4:05 p.m. Okay, now we have a starting time, just like we did in the last problem. So 4:05 p.m. PM stands for post meridian, which means past noon or past midday. Then it says the game ends at 4:38 p.m. Okay, so then it says, how long does the game last? So you're trying to figure out what was going on in between, right? So how can you show the start time, the end time, and how many minutes passed? Okay, we already have our start time, 4:05 p.m. Let me zoom in. Okay, here's our start time, 4:05 p.m. Here's our end time. But we don't know what happened in the middle in this squiggly line, right? So let's find out. So I'm going to take my clock, okay, and I'm going to make 4:05. 4:05. So our last lesson, before this one, our math lesson was talking about telling time to the nearest minute. So we should know how to tell time to the nearest 5 minutes. So we're starting at 4:05 and going to 4:38. I'm going to show you 2 ways to find the answer, okay? And you can pick either one that you want. So I'm going to count until I get to 38, which should be around here, okay? There. All right, ready? So let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, are we at 38 yet? No. So we're at 30. So let's count by ones. 31, 32, 33. Now we should be at 38. Because are we at 40? Is 38 at 40? No. So we should be at 38. So how many minutes was that? Let's go back. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33. Okay, so that's one way you can find the answer. So our elapsed time was 33 minutes. I have another way we can solve this. And this way would help if you don't have a clock. Okay, if you don't have a clock like mine, or you are not able to draw one, you can do this. So, watch. If we do, okay, which number is bigger, 38 or 5? Okay, if you said 38, you're correct. So anyway, 38, let me move the camera down. Okay, so you're going to take 38. It's 38 minutes past the hour. First of all, let's write the times like this, like 438. Then we have 405, like this. Let's do some subtraction. Okay, let's see if we get the same answer. What's 8 subtract 5? 3. What's 3 subtract 0? 3. Okay. Now, what's 4 take away 4? 0. So there are no hours, right? And it's 33 minutes. Remember, this is the minute side. This is the hour side. So 33 minutes is what we got. So you can use either subtraction or you can use a clock to help you. And if you need to rewind that so you can catch it, don't worry. We've got extra practice we're going to do as well. So don't freak out if you get a little confused. I'm showing you 2 strategies to help. So now, here are some questions. How do you know when to start counting? Okay, this is still the same problem. Okay, so when do you know when to start? 4:05, duh, it says it in the problem. Okay, B, what numbers could you count by? Well, what did we count by? We counted by 5s, didn't we? So here. Let me write the answers up here. So A, our time was 4:05, right? Then B says, what do we count by? We counted by 5s and 1s. So we're going to put 5s and 1s. Sorry, there's a crack in my whiteboard, so I can't really, I have to work around it. All right, and then C, it says, how long does the chess game last? What did we determine? We determined it was 33 minutes. So those are your answers for number 1. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in for A, B, and C in your workbook. Okay, don't forget, you can pause this. Now, excuse me, got the hiccups. All right, then it says, how can you find elapsed time of the chess game using subtraction? Well, we did that. So if you want to rewind or go back, you'll be able to find our strategy. Now, let's move on. This next one is Step It Out, page 337. Okay, so go ahead and turn to the next page. All right, so it says, Pete arrives at the book club meeting at 10:12 a.m. He leaves at 10:54 a.m. How many minutes is Pete at the meeting? Before answering this question, let's look at a video explaining how to find elapsed time using a number line, okay? Because they're teaching you all these different strategies. So I wanted to show you how to do it using a number line. So if it will work, yep. Okay, so now we're looking at this video. Shouldn't take very long. Okay, so I'm going to make it full screen.
How do you know how long a birthday party lasts? For example, if you have a birthday party that went from 5:15 to 6:52, how long did the party last? In this lesson, you will learn how to solve elapsed time word problems in 1-minute intervals by using a number line. Let's review. You already know how to solve elapsed time word problems to the nearest hour and 5 minutes using a number line. For example, if you know that something started at 12:45 and it lasted 1 hour, 2 hours, and 2 hours 5 minutes, 2 hours 10 minutes, you would know that it ended at 2:55 p.m. A common mistake is taking the start time and trying to add the change of time to it to figure out the end time. This is just not a good strategy for solving elapsed time word problems because you end up with a sum that is not a typical time. So this is just not a strategy that we use to solve these problems. So let's look at a problem. My mom started cooking lasagna at 6:31 p.m. And it took her 52 minutes for the lasagna to cook. What time was it ready to eat? Just like all elapsed time word problems, I'm going to identify the start time, the change of time, and the end time, which is the unknown in this word problem. So I'm going to use a number line to solve this. I know that the lasagna went in at 6:31 p.m. Now I usually like to count by fives to solve elapsed time word problems. It's difficult to count by fives from 6:31. So what I'm going to do is get to a friendly number. So by hopping 1 minute at a time, I'm going to go 6:32, 33, 34, 35. So now I'm at 6:35 p.m. and I can count by fives. So here we go. The lasagna is in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And I'm going to stop there because 45 minutes plus my first four hops is 46 minutes, 47 minutes, 48 minutes, 49 minutes. Getting really close to that 52 minutes, so I'm going to start counting my ones. 49 minutes, 50 minutes, 51 minutes, 52 minutes. So if the lasagna cooked for 52 minutes, it would come out of the oven and be ready to eat at 7:23 p.m. So let's go back to our birthday party, which lasted from 5:15 to 6:52, and we want to know how long the party was. So again, we have our start time, we have our end time, and this problem we want to figure out the change of time. We want to figure out how long it lasted. So let's get our number line. Party started at 5:15 p.m. In this case, we can actually start with a 1 hour hop to get us to 6:15 p.m. because the party went all the way till 6:52. And we're already at a friendly number, so we can start counting by fives. 6:20, 6:25, 6:30, 6:35, 6:40, 6:45, 6:50. We're going to stop there because 6:55 would be after the end of the party. 6:50, 6:51, 6:52. So if the party went from 5:15 to 6:52, let's total how long it lasted. 1 hour, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 1 hour 36, 1 hour 37 minutes. In this lesson, you have learned how to solve elapsed time word problems in 1 minute intervals by using a number line.
Okay, so this